Can the news like stop moving this fast? I mean, I have work here and Donald Trump just keeps changing the world every 3 minutes. So here we are. Like I said in the previous podcast, that Iran will probably violate the ceasefire, and then Israel will say they violated the ceasefire, and Donald Trump's pissed about it because these people have been fighting forever, and Donald Trump wants to speed run a ceasefire deal, but it's the first time I've ever seen the President of the United States swear on camera, number one. He said these two people don't know what the they're doing. And he actually called out Israel because before the ceasefire was implemented, Israel decided, like, well, we're going to get our lickings before the ceasefire takes place. So they dropped everything apparently on Iran. And according to Trump, Iran may have like had a misfire, or do you necessarily believe them if they said they had a misfire? I mean, it's a bunch of radicals in a regime, so can you really trust them? Now Israel's going to feel that they need to respond, and Donald Trump's heading there right now to try to stop them from responding. And there's a report out that 4 people were killed by Iran. So, according to Trump, the target wasn't hit, but if 4 people got killed, they're obviously going to want to retaliate. I wish people would just stop fighting. And at the end of the day, I definitely think Donald Trump is one of these people who, like, I don't assign the worst intentions to Donald Trump, but Trump sees like any conflict in the world as something that is just senseless and pointless and bad for business, when there's like underlying motivations for all conflicts. Both sides can have fucked up reasons. Like, let's take, for example, Russia and Ukraine. Russia is feeling that Ukraine is a fake country and they're actually part of the Soviet Empire and they want to reestablish the Soviet Empire. Now, some people say that's not true. You don't have access to intelligence briefings and what our CIA has access to, but it would make a lot of sense to me that the only reason we're really that scared of Russia going on the warpath again is because we live in the world of nuclear armament. And even Vladimir Putin said the greatest geopolitical tragedy that has ever happened was the dissolving of the Soviet Union. If you ask me, the Soviet Union was literally an evil empire. Them dissolving gave Russia a real opportunity to become a democracy, but that slowly descended into a gangster state, and now Russia is what it is. But the Ukrainians feel that they're fighting for their sovereignty. So you can't say either one of these people are fighting for no reason. But Donald Trump views all conflicts as senseless. But now Israel and Iran are probably going to start going back at it, at least for a short time, until we can get something more permanent through. It might be exactly what happened in Gaza. Donald Trump genuinely tried to get a ceasefire through, and then eventually it just dissolved, and then Hamas and Israel just accused each other of lying the whole time, and then eventually it finally blew up. And a quick rundown what I think about that whole thing, and if anyone who watches my channel consistently would know this, is the only thing I would really criticize Israel heavily for is, one, not listening to the United States when we give you billions of dollars, and number two, stop starving civilian populations. That just kind of makes you look like an a-hole. Israel going after Hamas, totally for it. I mean, if you commit an atrocity, what happened October 7th, you as a political organization deserve to be destroyed. But I feel like Israel actually wants there to be a ceasefire with Iran so they can focus on Hamas, because you can't fight a war on multiple fronts and expect there to be great results. I mean, Israel did destroy Hezbollah basically as a political organization, but they need to focus on what's going on with Gaza. And continuing this fight with Iran, I mean, Israel has something called Iron Dome, and it protects them from rocket fire and all this other nonsense that Hamas has been shooting over at Israel for years. And the United States gave that to them so they wouldn't go into Gaza, and then hopefully we can have a two-state solution in the meantime. But that has obviously been blown up, unfortunately. And hopefully Donald Trump can get Israel to calm down. I mean, they have every right to be pissed off, as the Iranians have been instigating for decades, and then all of a sudden now they want to have a ceasefire after they start having their top leadership being killed. And there was a messed up story when apparently the Mossad was calling the Iranian leadership and saying like, hey, you know, you and your family are targets. And I thought to myself, yeah, that's pretty up by the Israelis. I think we've evolved from certain levels of warfare. Do you think we warned people before we firebombed Dresden? Of course not. So the fact that Israel's making semi-impolite phone calls to these people who have been funding proxies for years to try to eliminate them, let's just not clutch our pearls so much.